Welcome to the Lara Jane Layton Show. This podcast is for you, the person who keeps putting others first. Your self-talk has held you back. You no longer need to take a second seat. Let's explore ways to overcome self-doubt. You can silence that inner bully voice and achieve your full potential. Here's your host, Lara Jane.
Hello, listener. It's your host, Lara Jane, and I am so excited to introduce my new best friend. Her name is Moni, and she is a Feng Shui expert. And I asked her to come talk to us about that hidden enemy at the office and how we can turn them into our own BFF through Feng Shui. I can't even say it today, but I am so excited. All the information on how to get a hold of Moni is in the show notes already. So just click down there if you want to get a hold of her, and you'll be able to do that. But Moni, help my listener make their office an amazing place to be.
Yeah, hi. So I'm so thankful that you invited me. It's such a pleasure to be here. And, many people, when they work in a cubicle, they are in a box, right? You're in a box, you're disconnected from nature, and you are not really being nurtured. You are put in a box that looks identical to the boxes of a lot of other people, and you're just like a piece in the machine. And that drains your energy. Human beings, we were designed to be in constant connection with nature. We were not designed to be put in boxes. So what Feng Shui does is that it helps you make your environments into harmonious spaces that mimic the beauty and the harmony of those natural spaces where you feel like this is life. If you ever went on a walk, if you were hiking, you were ever at a picnic, if you were in the lake, and you had that peak moment when you were thinking, this is life. You can achieve that same kind of feeling in your office, in your home, in any workplace by using the principles of Feng Shui. The most important thing to think about is that everything that you believe to be true about yourself, your career, and the role that you play in your business where you work, all of that is expressed in your space. Every single one of your beliefs is expressed in your space. Whether you have an office suite where you are the boss, or whether you're in one of these cubicles, whether you have an office where you close the door or not, every single thing that you believe to be true about yourself and your place in the workplace is expressed in your office. So I'm going to invite you to think about the place where you work. Where do you sit? What does your computer look like? What is the monitor like? What is in front of you? What's underneath the computer if you have a desktop? What is to your left? What is to your right? When you are reaching for something, can you find it easily? All these things are saying something about what you are, who you are, and what you believe to be true about life, and specifically yourself in your space. So play this game. Think, for example, that somebody has just entered into your workplace, and they come to your chair, and you're not there. And they look at your office. What conclusions would they make? For example, would they guess correctly if you are a male or female? Or other? Would they guess correctly if you are single or if you are married? Would they guess correctly about how much money you are making? Would they guess correctly what your functions are? Would they guess correctly how important you are to your employers or how important you are to yourself? So, first of all, you don't want your place of business to be telling lies.
We want it to, or we don't want it to?
You don't want it to be telling lies, right? And thank you for clarifying this. You want your place of business to tell the truth and to tell the truth about your aspirations. So, for example, it's a very typical thing, this is a mistake that a lot of career people make, is that when you're home, especially if you have children, maybe you feel like a little bit of guilt from not being able to stay home with the kids, or for maybe working late, of all the opportunities that you miss to see them grow, to play with them, to entertain them, to be together as a family. And what many people do is they place a picture in their office of their spouse and children, right? Who's missing? You're missing. And so when you put a picture of your spouse and your children in your office, you are separating yourself from them. You are kind of like putting an intent out there into the universe for you to be single or for you to be apart from them. So what you need to do is put a picture in your office of your whole family, you included. And that creates that bond. While you're at work, that helps you stay connected to your family. And that helps you set priorities. The chair is super important because people choose chairs depending on how worthy they believe they are. How worthy they believe they are in terms of comfort, in terms of style. And so a chair shows how you treat yourself. So is your chair comfortable? Is your chair ergonomic? Does it have arms? Does it offer you proper back support? Do you have, if you don't have armrests, where do you rest your hands? If you don't have a proper back support, have you gotten a cushion there? Maybe you could soften the seat, right? So there's so many things that you could do just to improve that chair, because that chair is a representation of how you treat yourself. So there's so many things.
Question on that, because a lot of corporate environments dictate what chair you have, and it must match everybody else's. So simply by adding a cushion or adding lumbar support or something like that would make me feel like I was taking care of myself more.
Definitely. And because you would be taking care of yourself. If you got a lumbar support cushion, if you got, for example, if you have rigid, hard armrest and you get like a memory foam arm support, you are treating yourself well. You are treating yourself kindly. You are treating yourself better. And you are also differentiating yourself from the other employees. Right? Okay. And so there's the tidiness of your desk is also important. For example, if a person comes into your office unannounced, are they going to be horrified by what they see? Are they going to be able to say, this is a person that is organized, that is neat, and that is going to be able to produce? If I assign a task to this person, are they going to be able to complete it in time? And I know there's been these articles. I've been seeing some articles that the most intelligent people are the messiest, right? Have you heard those articles? Or have you read anything?
I've read them. I have seen that before. But I don't think intelligence makes you productive. It just makes you smart.
Yeah, that is. I am going to memorize that because what you just said is so perfect, right? You could be the smartest person, but if you can't concentrate, you're not going to be productive. And so that is so, so important. And it's also perception, because I could be, and actually, when I was younger, when I was going through the School of Architecture, I had a prodigious mind, and I couldn't remember in the mess that was my workspace. I couldn't remember where the eraser was. I couldn't remember where the ruler was, because back then we drew on these tables. We didn't have computers to draw floor plans. And I could remember, for example, that yesterday when I was erasing something, my eraser fell under the table. So the next time I needed the eraser, I'll just go look under the table. But as you get married, as you have kids, your brain changes. And as you grow older, you have so much information in your head, you cannot hold all these little details. And so even if I was an extremely organized person, if my place looks messy, it's going to make it hard for people to trust me, right? And so there are certain things that you need to do in your office to turn your office into your BFF instead of it being your worst enemy. And one of the most important things to do is how you position your desk in relationship to the door. So let's talk about a regular office, an office with 4 walls and a door. The worst thing that you can do is position your desk so that you have your back to the door. So a lot of desks today, they are designed to be pushed against the wall. And then you put your computer on there, and you are behind your screen, you are looking at a wall, and you don't have command. You don't know what's happening behind you. And that's going to cause you to be distracted, and that is not going to allow you to concentrate properly, because part of your brain is going to be trying to guess what is happening in the space behind you by the sounds, by the smells, etc. Right? Because actually, the human brain is designed to scan your surroundings for danger every 20 seconds.
Yeah, wow.
If you're looking for that leopard in the tree, right? Or you're looking for that strange person in the parking lot. And even in your office, even when if you work from home and your office is completely protected at the back of the home, upstairs, and even if it's in an ideal location, you are still going to be scanning your surroundings every 20 seconds. And so you need to,
if you are not facing, I mean, all these built-in desks, they put you wherever they are. And because I don't like being snuck up on in the corporate world, I always had rearview mirrors on my monitor so I could see behind me. Would that make it okay to not be facing the door?
That is definitely a solution. You can get a computer mirror, you can get a rear view mirror that is going to allow you to see the person behind you. That is definitely a solution, but it is much better to turn the desk around. So when you go shopping for a desk, it is very important that you think about this. One of the worst options is the corner desk. They just look so lovely at the store. They look so complete and so pretty. But when you bring them home, there's only one position you can put them in, and that position is usually with your back to the door. So how you are able to take command of the room is really important. If you are able to command the room the way you work, that is going to help you concentrate tremendously. And so you want to, when you're sitting at your desk, you want to be able to see the door, but you don't want to be right in front of the door. So you kind of want to be diagonal to the door. And that is what we call in Feng Shui the power position, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, distractions. Anything that you put on your walls is going to call your attention. So you have to choose very carefully what you put on your walls. I was recently working with a client that had covered her office, like every single wall was covered with sticky notes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so sticky notes or little flyers or little posters. And she told me, well, I'm just very visual. And so whenever I'm sitting in my office, I want to see my goals. I want to see my vision board. I want to see my the conclusions that I reached about my life in the last retreat when I went to New Mexico. And I need to have it visible, because if it's not visible, it kind of disappears for me. But what this was doing for her is it was just distracting her. It was making her eyes jump from one item to another item to another item on the walls. So what you want to do in your office is you want to have calm images of nature, especially images where you may have like some perspective, like the image of a valley with mountains in the distance, something that makes you feel calm, things that make you feel calm and secure. So first the position, right? Then what's on your walls, because you want the things that are on your walls, you want them to help you put yourself in a mood for learning, in a mood for studying, in a mood for creating. If the things on your walls are too active, that's not going to help. And of course, you could have posters with affirmations that can be positive, but not all over, right? You would not wallpaper your whole office with affirmations. That would kind of defeat the purpose, because then if you have your wall full of affirmations, they all become a mesh. And then you are not going to be able to pay attention to your affirmations. Now, this is super important, right? I had mentioned vision boards and affirmations. These are tools that I think the modern career person is familiar with. Like, I don't think I don't anymore. I don't know anybody who doesn't do a vision board at the beginning of the year. But one of the problems, with the vision board is that the vision board is a private thing. And I see a lot of people in these days of Zoom meetings, they have their vision board right behind them. And the vision board, first of all, it's a collage. It's not a beautiful work of art. And so to the person that's meeting with you in Zoom, that collage may look a little bit strange. And then it's private. It's a personal thing, right? and you do not want to share all your personal aspirations with the world. And so when you're using Feng Shui, you can turn your whole office into a vision board. And you could put, there are 8 spots in the office that represent certain things. And so you can put certain reminders, decorations, affirmations in the right spots so that you can use your whole office as a vision board. And then you don't have to have that collage of the vision board on the wall. And then the other thing is affirmations, because if you are saying affirmations every day, which you should be working with positive affirmations and you should be repeating them every day. But if your space is doing something different, the space is going to win. Because let's say, for example, that 5 minutes in the morning, you wake up and you have these affirmations and you repeat your affirmations for those 5 minutes. But the rest of the day, your office is telling you a different story. And for example, you may say, I am a person who is deserving of everything good. I am a person that is deserving of abundance. But then you walk into your office and everything is cheap. Then you're giving yourself the wrong kind of feedback. Then the office is going to win. The office that is telling you for the 8, 10, 12 hours that you're at the office, that is telling you, you're not doing well, you're in a mess, you're trapped. That is going to be more powerful than the affirmations that you just say for a few minutes a day. And so you got to make sure that your office gives you a good message. And so the messages that you want to hear is, you are valuable, you are worthy, you are smart, you are organized, you are successful, you are a go-getter. And so an exercise that you can do is look at your office and ask of every item, are you good for me? Like Marie Kondo says, does this object bring me joy, right? But the question that I would ask you to ask yourself in the office is, are you good for me? And so I can give you some examples. And for example, here to my left, I have a iPhone and iPad holder that I sometimes use to do lives. And so I can ask this object, are you good for me? And the answer is yes, it's so good for me because it helps me position my phone or my iPad in the best location so I can look the best when I do a live video. And it is located next to my light. And so I can ask my light, are you good for me? And the answer is yes, because the light makes me look even better when I'm doing live videos, right? And then I can look at something else and ask, and I'm trying to think, can you think of something you could be looking at in an office that gives you bad feedback?
Well, I have a box in my office that I haven't taken out of here, and I know it's not good for me.
And so if you look at the box, and
it's a piece of mail that came in that hasn't been taken to its proper spot.
Okay, so it's just the box?
Oh no, there's a speaker in it. It just hasn't. It's just a delivery. It's actually my son's, and it came to my house, and so it's sitting on my desk.
So it's not even yours, right? And so you could ask this object, "Are you good for me?" Box, are you good for me? And no, box, you're not good for me because you don't belong here. You're cluttering my desk. You are taking space that other things could be using. Or I would just like to look at the empty space over here.
Yes, and he's been here for a week and I haven't moved it. Dang it.
Yeah. And so then you have to answer why, right? Why do I allow this? And I'm doing this in my life too. Am I allowing energies? And am I allowing other people to take from my time when they shouldn't be taking off my time? Am I allowing family members to take my space when they shouldn't be taking my space, right? So there's a time when you have kids, they have a right to your time. They have a right to your space. They have the right to everything that is you when they are little. But as they become more independent, you also become more independent and you need to reclaim that time. You need to reclaim that space, right? And so, for example, you may be looking at reading glasses and you ask the reading glasses, are you good for me? Of course you're good for me, because without you, when I'm go on a website and the text is little, I can read a thing, and when I'm looking at the instructions in boxes, I can't read them, I can't understand them. And so you can go like that as if the objects in your office were alive. And this is such a good, powerful exercise for you to determine if your office is your BFF or if it's a hidden enemy, right? And so the meaning of the things in your office is just so important. And so look at that. And also books, right? If you have books in your office, you ask the books, do you still represent me? And is the answer yes or no? Because you maybe keep it in your office books that were like a book I loved when I was 12. Johann Sebastian Siegel, I think is the name.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking of the name in Spanish, but Richard Bach, who also wrote Illusions. Do you remember that?
Or maybe you're not I know which one you're talking about.
Well, he was super famous when I was like 12, 14 years old, right? And so say like I read Illusions, and the Illusions was like such an eye-opener for me at the age of 12 or 14. But I wouldn't keep it in my bookcase today because that book would not represent who I am or what I believe today, right? And so you go to your bookcases and you ask the books. And it is really, really reassuring when you relate to the objects in your office as if they had a soul, so you ask the book, do you still represent me? Are you an expression of who I am? Are you an expression of who I want to be? And then if the answer is yes, the book still represents you, you keep it. If the book doesn't represent you or who you want to be, then you let it go. And of course, there's going to be things like dictionaries that the dictionary may not represent who you are, but you still need it.
But it's a tool. That's different.
It's a tool, right? So it's an object that is good for you because it allows you to look for meanings. Yes, yeah. And so, and then when you do it like that, and so, for example, because I'm not perfect either, so I'm grabbing for something on my desk. And it's a little thing of, I was out of town the last couple of days, and in my bag, I had put a little container of face cream. So I could moisturize my skin while I was away in the hotel. And so I'm looking at this and I ask it, right? Are you good for me? Of course you're good for me. But should you be here? No, it shouldn't be here. There's my face cream shouldn't be on my desk. And it is right now. So that's something I need to treat this cream that is so good for me. I need to treat it properly by putting it in the place where I'm going to find it next. So a lot of clutter happens because people, they're walking around with an object in their hand and they're asking the question, where do I put this? Where do I put it? Where could I set it down? Where does it fit? That's my husband. If it fits, it goes there. But you don't ask that question. The question that you need to ask is, where will I find you when I next need you?
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah, where will I find you when I next need you?
That I don't like to go hunting for something. So I have a pair, let's just pretend like it's scissors, by the couch, by the TV, in my bedroom, because I don't want to go hunt. I have a place for them everywhere. But what you're saying, I think is really important because a lot of times, and I do this especially with things that somebody gave me. I don't want to throw it away because I don't want them to feel bad, but it's in my space and I don't really want it. And so I leave it there for somebody else, not me.
Because you don't know what to do with it, right? So can you give us an example of what that object is?
At one time, they're in the other room now. They're in I call it my reading room. There's another room and it fits there and it belongs there because it's my memories of my friends, but it doesn't belong in my office. Or my studio. I don't know what you want to call this room. But one of them was a vase that had a plant in it and it was beautiful. And the plant died because I don't know why it just didn't want that vase. But I kept it. And then every time another friend gave me something, it went in that vase. So it's kind of this flower arrangement of friend things. Yeah. So to me, it's special, but it doesn't belong in my office space. But I want to get back to, you said there's 8 spaces where we can, I don't know about these 8 spaces, but they're still in my brain. Right? But I need to do a quick break and get a word from our sponsor. And then when we come back, can you talk to us about those 8 spaces? And does it work in homes? And is it like, I'm guessing it's a single room, or does it work for a house? So anyway, be right back.
This podcast is sponsored by Lara Jane Coaching. You know you're ready to silence your inner bully voice. Let Lara Jane support you with coaching. To schedule an introduction call, go to larajanelayton.com.
All right, Moni, I got to know about these 8 spaces. So what are these 8 spaces, that, whether it's something that belongs in my office or not, what do I do with it?
Okay, so there's 8 spots in your office because your office is usually going to be a square or a rectangle. So you're looking at the 4 corners and the 4 midpoints. And there's actually a 9th space, and that is the center of the room. And in the center of your office is that's where you're going to be. If your desk is properly positioned according to Feng Shui. Yes. And so when you're coming into your office, the center of the wall that contains the door to your office, the center, that midpoint, that is career. And that's the life area that's associated with money. So you're standing, looking to the inside of your office. In the center, you have career. To your right, you have travel and helpful people. And to your left, you have wisdom and self-knowledge. Now, if you're looking to the back completely, and you're still standing, looking to the inside of the office with your back against the wall that has the main door to your office. And so in the middle, you have reputation and fame. On the right corner, you have marriage and relationships, and this could be relationship with your clients too. And to the left, you have the wealth corner. Now, in the middle of the room, to your right, you're going to have children, creativity, and fun. And to the left, you're going to have health, family, and community. So those are the 8 spots. Then in the center is the center of good fortune and gratitude, which is usually where you are. And so each of these spots can be filled up with an affirmation or with an image that is representative of what you want in one of those life areas. For example, you could put a picture of you and your husband in the relationship corner. But you could also put an image that is representative of your relationship with your clients or with your listeners. And in the wealth corner, you could put an image that is a representation of what you want to achieve. What do you want to achieve in terms of wealth? And wealth is the accumulation of property, connections, and skills. Some people tell me, well, my family is my wealth. My relationship with God is my wealth. My marriage is part of my wealth. And no, your wealth is the accumulation of material possessions, connections, and skills, right? Because there's another life area for your marriage. There's another life area for religion, helpful people, spiritual life. And there's another life area for family. And each of those has a particular kind of energy. And see, this is the wealth corner of my office. And you can see I have here a painting of a tree, because a tree is the symbol of wealth in Feng Shui. So in the wealth corner of your office, you can have a tree, or I can see you have live plants. That is very good for wealth, to have live plants. And so that is how you build.
But they're not in my wealth area.
They're not in your wealth area, but you have them.
I love them.
And then,
you have to make sure.
Yes. If you're going to put a plant in the wealth corner of your office, you need to make sure there's enough light that the plant can survive, because if you end up with a dead plant, that's not good Feng Shui. And so you can do this for your office. You can also do for the whole business, like if you have a business suite or a shop. You could also do this in your home. So you look at these points and you see what's happening in those points, and you place decorations and enhancements that turn your home effectively into a 3-dimensional vision board. And your home is telling you through your walls, your home is having positive affirmations, your office is having positive affirmations. And so that's what you want to do. Because have you noticed, like a lot of people have their vision board, and their vision board is visible in their Zoom meetings?
Mine aren't visible in my Zoom meetings, but I can see them from where I'm sitting.
Yeah.
And I've got 2. One of them is my travel vision, and one of them is my personal vision.
Yeah. And the thing is, unless you are an artist that works on collage, they're going to be fantastic, awesome if you're an artist, right? But if you're just a regular person and you make a collage, the collage is not a piece of art. It's good to do it. I'm not saying don't do vision boards, but be careful where you put those vision boards, right? put that vision board where you can see it when you're in a Zoom meeting. Don't put that vision board where other people can see it. So these are the kinds of details that can very quickly turn your office between hidden enemy to BFF or back and forth, right? And so you have to control all the messages that your office is giving you, because your office should be nurturing you. Your office should be working for you. Your office should be like a really good assistant. If your office is like a toddler, just walked into your room, into your office, and they're asking for attention every 2 minutes, then your office is your hidden enemy. But if your office is like your assistant, that is on top of everything, then it is your BFF. And so that includes, you have to have beauty in the office. You have to have images of nature in the office or live plants. And also you need to keep it tidy and organized. You need to have that personal relationship with the objects in your office, where you ask them, are you good for me? And be honest as to what is the answer. And maybe they're good for you, but not there. Maybe they're good for you, like the little thing of cream for my face, right? It's good for me, but it's not good for me in front of my desk. On top of my desk, right? On top of my desk is telling me I'm unorganized. Mm-hmm. In my little box of makeup, it tells me I'm organized. And the next time I'm going to use it, I'm not going to think to look for it on the top of my desk. I'm going to go to look for it where I keep my creams and makeup, right? And so the question you ask in that case is, where am I going to find you when I need you next? And if you create this kind of relationship with your office and with every object in your office as if they were alive, your office is going to become your BFF. It's going to become your engine. It's going to become a supportive partner for you.
So on this, asking these inanimate objects these questions, how do I know what its answer is?
Okay, so do you want to use an example?
Sure. I don't know what it should be.
Just
I
choose
have
any
this
of it.
thermometer. That tells me how friggin' hot it is in here. Because in the afternoon it gets way too hot, and I like to bitch.
So you ask the thermometer, "Are you good for me?" And then the answer from the thermometer is in what it does for you. So the thermometer lets you know the temperature. Is that a good idea? So does that make you angry when the temperature gets too hot? Or is it a reminder to set the air conditioning? Or is it a reminder to turn on a fan?
I just like to know if it's a hot flash or if it's really hot in here.
Then it's good for you, right? And so, and you know how when you're talking to children or pets, mm-hmm. and you talk to them and you talk for them. It's like, are you a good boy? Of course you are. You're a good boy, right? It's kind of like that kind of a relationship. Thermometer, are you good for me? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Because you allow me to know when the temperature is actually fluctuating or when I'm having an internal reaction to hormonal changes inside my body. Right? Well, so then it's good for you.
You're making me think about me talking to my plant this morning. So there's one of my plants that you can see it over one of my shoulders. It's just little. I bought it not too long ago. And it had a half dead leaf. And I'm going, I'm so sorry, but I'm going to cut this off. And I know it's going to hurt. But as soon as I do, you're going to have the energy for all your other new growth.
That is so sweet and so wise.
I didn't want to hurt him, but I knew that he was struggling to keep that part alive. And so I think I know that same feeling as when we tune into the object, mm-hmm. your reaction or thought is going to be the answer. So is this pair of glasses that's sitting next to me belong in here? And it's, yes, I need to be here because you're going to need me. And this is where you're going to find me. So yes. I think it's kind of where someone goes, I don't know, objects don't talk. You feel and you will know. And so I think that's the answer that I was searching for. You answered it. I just changed the words a little bit.
So there's a animism and animatism. Animism is the belief, like in the Native American cultures in North America, the belief that everything has a soul. So the river has a soul, the rock has a soul, the tree has a soul, the fish have a soul. Like every inanimate or animate object has a soul. So that is animism. And there's animatism. And in animatism, and Feng Shui is animatistic. So in Feng Shui, we believe that some things have a soul of themselves, like a plant, we believe has a soul. But a lamp doesn't have a soul of its own, but it has been imbued with the energy of life, because there's the energy of life that we call chi, the life force, is coming in, and your lamp gets charged. And so, for example, in the office, you may work in a large room where there's 12 cubicles, and 10 of those cubicles are being occupied, and 2 of those are abandoned. Nobody works there. And when you walk by there, you feel there's an eeriness about the space because it's not being charged with life. The cubicle that is abandoned, that is empty, doesn't have any energy because nobody's charging it. Whereas the cubicle that is being used every day, that one has the positive charge of the energy of the person that's using it. It has the love, it has the plant, it has the photograph, it has the mug, right?
What if we just put a plant there and took care of it in the empty space? Would it be happy then?
Yes, definitely, because you are filling it with life. So maybe you put a piece of art in one of the walls of the cubicle. Maybe you have a plant on the other side. And then you're starting to imbue it with life. And so that's the idea, and the animatism of Feng Shui is that even though you know the lamp is not alive, you treat it as if it was alive because you treat it with love.
Okay. I think I could do that. Now I need to figure out, I should have written down. No shoulds. Don't use that word. I'm going to look it up because I don't have to write it down because Google exists. The 8 areas, because, as you said, I was imagining where things would go and now I forgot.
But you can find it on my website. So
See?
If you go to my website, right, 9stepstofengshui.com, also spacearrangement.com takes you there. You're going to see a link at the top that says free and low cost resources. So you click on that, and then you again click on free resources, and there's going to be 3 offers there. And one offer is going to say free life areas test and Bagua map. Free life areas test and Bagua map. And that is the resource where you're going to be able to download this map that tells you where the 9 life areas are and how to place them on your floor plan. So you're also going to get a sequence of videos that's going to teach you how to interpret your results.
So when you're doing a whole house, do you look at the 9 areas of the whole box area or each room individually or both?
When I'm doing the whole house, I do it for the whole house. But in an office, I do it for just the office. Especially if you have a business, right? And so you don't have to do this for the bedroom, for the master bedroom. You don't have to do this for your children's bedrooms. You don't have to do this for the dining room. You don't have to do it in the kitchen. But if you work from home and you have a home office and you run a business from your home, then you do apply the Bagua map just to your office.
Yeah, because I think while you were talking, I thought there was a couple things in here that might need to be relocated. Just to a different wall.
So you have to be careful with Feng Shui because Feng Shui has been around for thousands of years. And Feng Shui is not something you can do through Google or Pinterest because there's too many sources and there's too many mistakes. And so you have to make sure that you have a reliable source and that you do it with guidance because there's Feng Shui. Every time it goes through a country, like it started in China, then it went to what is now Korea, Japan, every time it goes to a different country, it acquires different characteristics. And some Feng Shui has a lot of superstitions attached to it. So sometimes people tell me, oh, that's just a superstition. They're really angry, right? And I can't even argue with them because I know there's some Feng Shui consultants and teachers out there that are teaching superstitious things and they're teaching things that are disempowering. Would you like to hear an example?
Yes.
Yeah. For example, if you hired, it's called Compass School Feng Shui. So if you hired a practitioner of Compass School and you wanted to change the color of your door, you like the front of your house, think about your front door, right? And you ask them, what color should I paint my door? And they take out a compass, a magnetic compass, and they tell you, oh, your house is facing in this direction, so you should paint it, say, for example, yellow. And then you're like, but I don't even like yellow. And they're like, well, but it's the best color for your house, right? The way I would choose the color for the door of your home would be first to look at the colors that you already have there and make sure that the color that you choose goes well with the colors you already have there. And then I would tell you, so these are the options. These are the colors that would look good with the colors of your home front already. And so which one of these do you like? You see the difference? And so
I like that, because if I didn't like it, no matter how good Feng Shui, whatever, it brought in wealth, I would still not like it. And it would cause more discomfort in my soul.
Exactly. And so it would bring you down every time you come home. Every time you drive by your house and park the car and go to the door, you will be deflated. You will feel deflated because you painted your front color in a color you hate. And so that is the problem. That's one of the situations that you might find. And also, this type of Feng Shui consultant, they do the life areas, but they're going to tell you 4 of those are positive for you and 4 of those are negative for you. And that's going to be based on the year that you were born. And so it's very superstitious and it's very disempowering. I have had clients that hired me after they had hired a Compass School practitioner. For example, were terrified of going in their bedroom. And I'm like, why? You have a beautiful bedroom. And they said, oh, well, the consultant that came, she told me that that was the direction of death for me. And so now I've been sleeping on the couch for the last 6 months because she told me that was a really bad room for me. And so you start living like that, being afraid of your bedroom. I had another client that she would always sit, I got there and she's sitting like on the edge of her sofa, like really, just to one side and avoiding the rest of the sofa. And I asked her, what's going on? And she said, well, the other consultant was here. When she did the map for my home, only this corner of the sofa was in a good direction for me. The rest of the sofa is in a bad direction for me. So she's afraid of her sofa. But that's why you have to be so careful. That's why you can't just go to Google or Pinterest and try to figure this out. So go to spacearrangement.com and get in touch with me. I also have a free Facebook group where we have a lot of fun with Feng Shui tips and quizzes and things that we do. Because, I took Feng Shui and I also took my training in modern architecture, which I went to school in Ecuador where I was born and raised. And I created a system, which is the 9 Steps to Feng Shui system. That's why it's 9stepstofengshui.com. And I created this system so that your home has great energy, but also looks great. And so that your office has all the right energy for you to move up in your career without increasing your stress level. But it also has to look good. When people come to your place, you want them to go, wow. Or, just, wow, it's so impressive. Or, it's so beautiful, so cozy, so comfortable. You don't want them to go, huh? What was she thinking? And unfortunately, that's what can happen when people try to do it themselves and when they get bad kind of advice. They start putting trinkets here and there, and then their home starts looking like a Chinese restaurant. And so I love Chinese restaurants. I love the food. I love the decorations of the Chinese restaurant. But that's just not my style for my home. That's not what I want my office to look like. And so it's a very ancient healing tool, Feng Shui. But you have to be careful because there's bad information out there. You have to be careful that you are working with good guidance from the right source.
I love that. And I'm going to go to your website and check it out because I would be very curious. I feel very comfortable in my home. There's not a lot that I would want to change. But if it was little simple things that would help increase the energy, I'm all for it. But I'm not.
Is this your home office?
That you're seeing in
that
my
I'm
background?
seeing right now?
Yeah. Yeah, I work from
so
home.
everything I see is beautiful, right? Everything I see is beautiful. But let's go to the books. Like I see you have a bunch of books right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it would look beautiful with a different set of books. I could have like 36 different sets of books in there. It would look the same. But the meaning, the content of the book would be different, right? And that's why I was saying, you ask your books, do you still represent me? And so those are the little things where Feng Shui can make such a huge difference, even when you don't change the look. Because you may say, my space is absolutely beautiful. I love it. I wouldn't change a thing. Really? Because there may be things there that are
I
not
didn't say I
helping
wouldn't
you,
change
right?
a thing. I
No,
wouldn't change
I'm
the
not saying you.
architecture or the bedroom or the,
Yeah, well, I'm saying not you, but the royal you.
Okay,
right?
the
Not you
royal you. Got
specifically.
it.
Yes. Yeah. So somebody might say, right? Somebody might say, I'm just, I'm just super happy with the way my home looks and stuff. But there's things that are not evident to you that Feng Shui would detect, and that could be holding you back. So there's some things that you may think are good for you that are not good for you because of what they represent. For example, art. I work with this amazing. She was a colonel in the Air Force, and she had a very, very poor origin. She was born in a shack, right? And so she told me, I have worked so hard, and last week my boss told me, you're a woman and you're a colonel. You should be happy how far you got, knowing where you come from. He told her that. And she's like, why should I? So this is my glass ceiling because I'm a woman, because I was born poor. I can't go any farther. And so I went into her room, and she had a picture of a shack in her bedroom. It was a beautiful picture. It was a reproduction from a very famous American painter. It was really, really pretty, and it was good artistically, but it wasn't good for her, because it was keeping her attached to her origins and to the poverty she experienced when she was a child. And she needed to break from that. Because the meaning, she had this nostalgia because they were poor, but they were happy. And so she wanted to have that reminder, but it wasn't good for her. It was preventing her from getting the promotions that she wanted. And so she changed that. She got a better image for her bedroom. And then she was transferred to a better position.
Oh, see, it works. I love that.
Yes, it works. And I have so many examples. I have just so many examples of people who have done so well from applying Feng Shui to their workplaces, from applying Feng Shui to their homes.
You're going to have to fly out to my house and just help me make it fit.
I don't need to fly because with technology today, technology is
we can walk around with the phone?
I do everything online now. All my clients are online. My business is 100% online. Because
cool.
really, because all I need is the link to Google Maps of your home, the floor plan of your home, and then when I look at the floor plan, I tell you what pictures I need or what videos I need, and I can do a consultation long distance. It's actually better to do it long distance. Because when I used to go to people's homes, right, I went and I was there for an hour, 2 hours, and then I left them a list of things that they needed to do, but I didn't have the chance to double check, make sure they did them right. But online, they're going to send me the pictures. I'm going to be able to check, and we're going to be sure that they're doing things right.
Well, that's so cool that it can be done online now. I love it.
It's like technology is just amazing. Yes. Yeah.
What do we do without
it gives me the ability. I mean, I have clients in Australia, the Middle East, Portugal, the UK, South Africa, different places in Latin America, all different states in the United States. It's just amazing, and the English language, the technology and the English language allows me to serve people from all over the world.
Well, we'll talk later.
Yes. Yeah. It is so exciting. I get so excited even talking about it. And because I've been doing this for over 20 years, right? I have so many case histories of people who have transformed their lives by transforming their homes or their offices.
That's awesome. I'm really excited. I saw the Feng Shui and I want to talk to this lady. So this has been great. So we are at the end of time. And I just want to give you that last opportunity of the succinct remaining wisdom that either summarizing what you just, overall, or something new that we haven't heard yet.
I'm going to tell you something new.
Okay.
That is so exciting. So, there's all these different personality tests, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have in the 9 steps of Feng Shui, we have a quiz to determine your personality according to the 5 elements, because we use the 5 elements in Feng Shui. And it's so accurate and it's so uncanny. And one thing that I'm doing lately with my business clients is that I am helping them do business according to their personality. So, for example, if you are in business, or you're an entrepreneur, you're a career person, and you need to do things to promote your business or to promote the business of the people you work for, there are certain things that will work like a charm for you depending on your personality. And there are other things that are going to be a waste of energy. So, for example, my personality is fire, right? And so for me, presenting, like I can go to a networking meeting and do a lecture and I'll get clients. But if I go to a networking meeting just to network, I'll get nothing because it's incompatible with my personality, right? But for my husband has wood personality, which is a very active kind of person. And so my husband loves going to those networking meetings, and he's always getting good business contacts from the networking meetings, right? And so it's so good because it allows you to know yourself. And when you get to know yourself, then you know how you need to talk to clients. And if you also know what's the personality of most of your clients, you can learn how to talk to them in marketing by knowing this information about the personality types. It's so fascinating.
And that too is on your website?
And I have provided the link for that, for the quiz, for any of the listeners that want to find out their personality. They can go there, and I will personally evaluate your results, and I will contact you with your results. It's not one of those fancy artificial intelligence quizzes that gives you the answer right away. It's one that I actually have to analyze personally.
Oh, okay.
But it's just so uncanny, and it is so useful.
So personality-wise, if you're fire and your husband's wood, do you burn him up?
Oh, well, he feeds my fire. And
Okay.
It's true. So yes, both. It's yes, both. Like I tend to exhaust him sometimes because I talk so much, and so sometimes it's like, oh, just be quiet. But he supports me in everything. He does certain things in our lives so I can party, because the fire personality is all about having fun and partying, and the wood personality is about working hard and being efficient and effective, right? And so he works hard and I enjoy the benefits. That's kind of our agreement. Do we have time to go real quick through the personalities?
Yes, because I know
Okay.
I know our listener wants to know it. So do it.
Okay, so just really quick. So there's the water personality. It's the person that cares a lot about money and is always asking, what's in it for me? The wood personality is about productivity. They want to work hard. They want to be the hardest working person in the room at all times, the one that wakes up the earliest and does the most work. The fire personality wants to know, where's the fun? Where's the next party? And just enjoy life. The earth personality wants to nurture others. They want to be of service. And the metal personality is the person that wants to be right with the divine. They want to be right with heaven. They want to do things right. Doing things right is really important for them. That's in it.
What was the one before metal?
Earth. The earth personality. They're nurturers.
I'm going to guess I'm earth.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
That's what gives you the most satisfaction is taking care of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you're an earth person.
Yeah. I just want, I get joy when other people are joyous. So
that's wonderful.
Yeah. All right. Oh, Moni, this has been amazing. It has been wonderful. And listener, Moni and I are not medical or mental professionals. We are here for entertainment purposes. people that have gone through stuff and have made it through. And we're here to support the universe, everybody, and you in your journey. So stay tuned for the next episode.
Are you tired of waking up exhausted? You are not alone. If you're looking to take your life back, let's start with the simple step of adjusting your self-talk. Stay tuned for the next episode with your host, Lara Jane. Remember to follow the show so you don't miss a next simple step that you can use to feel more confident. And please leave an honest review.